I'm pretty sure everyone has been in this situation of, hey dude, I forgot to do my homework, can I borrow yours? Don't worry, I'll change a couple of words so it doesn't look the same. But in the end, it turns out to be the same nonsense. The teacher notices and gives you a bad grade anyway, because you didn't turn it in. Well, you're not going to believe who did that just now, because it's none other than just Echo. Wow. What do you mean if they are literally the best in the world? What happened? Well, big announcement. We are partnering with Maxroll. Our players are bringing high-quality class guides, tier lists, and much more. Learn from the best and gradually improve in DPS, the story, and more. Check out the page here, etc., etc. You can already see that the tweet has 315,000 views and only 500 likes. Does this already make you think, wow, something strange has happened here, so many visits and so little support? What's going on? Well, I went to check out the page to see what it had, right? To take a look, because, well, Maxroll, for those who don't know, is a page that is especially well known for its Lost Ark guides. It also has a lot of guides for Diablo, PoE, and a bunch of other games. Really, I remember getting stuff from here when I played Lost Ark, and it wasn't bad. They are really just guides, and that's it. I look at them and move on. And now it seems, well, that they've gotten into the world of being cool because they simply might want to attract a new audience, more visits to the website, more money. Well, money moves the world, guys, and that's it. And what better way to bring people to WoW than with people who have some recognition, right? Well, I went to the page and there were some things that surprised me, like going to the Mythic Plus DPS tier list of the pre-patch and seeing that the Evoker is in the E tier. If after reading you realize that it's like, no, of course, because this is a tier list for low Mythic Plus, if you want to go to a high Parametric Plus store, then here the increase is indeed tier S. I don't know, like UFF. This is a bit weird, honestly. And not only that, but when you start reading the class guides, you see strange things, you see strange descriptions, like, for example, a macro to cast Lethal Strike on yourself. How do you even do that? So I hurt myself with Lethal Strike and heal from the damage I do with Lethal Strike. I didn't know this. I've played as Blood, Frost, and Unholy, and I didn't know this rotation, to be honest. And not only that, but you have things like, for example, I'm going to read the introduction to the Outlaw Rogue guide. Your key combo point mechanic fuels your more adaptive abilities, like Between the Eyes. Generating and spending combo points efficiently while managing your energy is crucial for optimal performance, while maintaining uptime is important due to Wrestleblade. So far, nothing different, right? And now this is also more or less normal. An Outlaw Rocket is a daring melee DPS specialist who excels in quick SOS EOs, fights with swords, axes, or maces. This pirate thrives on being unpredictable, using abilities like Dice for random buffs, the Hook for quick mobility, and the Zero Wind to click against enemies. Playing a charismatic and daring adventurer, that is, portraying a charismatic and daring adventurer, the rogue outlaw is always ready to outmaneuver opponents and seek adventure, seeking the advantage in any battle. Quite a role-playing description. When I said this, I thought, the guy who wrote this is extremely into role-playing. But not just here, literally all the guides follow the same format, all the intros follow the same format and only change 2 words. It's like they did copy and paste and that's it. Or things here like the Frost Mage guide. Playing Frost Mage is a truly unique experience. Due to a variety of different bold abilities like Blink and Alter Time, you can do unimaginable things for other classes. In the blink of an eye, the unlivable lives, doesn't it? While controlling a group of mobs by yourself, anything is possible for a Frost Mage. What role-playing descriptions they are coming up with. I mean, this is, I feel a bit of secondhand embarrassment, but well, it's not a big deal, right? Until you start reading the guides and things begin to unfold, because it turns out that all the guides follow the same format, and when you run them through an AI detector, it seems like they are all 100% generated by AI. Both the Evoker guide and, I don't know, literally all of them. 2001, wow. And it's like, well, I don't know, I guess they just use that. Which is fine, I'm just a bit fed up with it. Until you start looking at the guides themselves like, okay, let's check out the rotation and all the details, because this is where it starts to get important. Here Whisper says, look, I don't use this platform enough, but the guides on Maxroll are plagiarism with super crappy AI copying the current work of Tory Crafter who are working on Wowhead, and it turns out to be a piece of crap. And Sherwood, who is one of the people running the Echo page, says, okay, I mean, from Echo of Maxroll, you can send me a DM with examples of what you feel comfortable sharing, like, hey, can you tell me where I messed up so I can see if I can fix it? Don't worry, 20,000 things had to happen. First, you wrote word for word a super specific condition for the Subtlety Rogue that we wrote last week, but we deleted it because it was incorrect word for word. Second, in the Frost Death Knight guide. The format and the way of explaining the abilities is incredibly similar. When you read this, well, you see, a class is always played the same way. It's not like when you play... I mean, you understand if you play Frost, you understand that you empower Rune of Power when you play with Obliteration. You always want to pair it with Pillar of Frost because it gives you more haste and you have more globals. And with Syndragos's Fury, it's a bit more of a dance depending on if you have low runic power, low runes, you use it to give yourself a bit more Breath of Syndragosa time, or it's a bit more random when to use it. And you say, well, it's fine, it's just how the class is played. It shouldn't be a big deal, really. Why? But then we get to another part of the Frost Death Knight rotation. Wowhead in its guide has a very interesting feature where you can choose to change the rotation depending on the talents you have equipped, okay? I'm going to show you in a moment. You go here to the class guides, for example, you go here to Frost, and then you go here to Rotation Usand. And I think they added this recently. They really put this in for Dragonflight, but here you can choose, okay, do I have the Necro hands? Yes, perfect. I don't have them, so it removes them. I carry the Scythe because it tells me when to use the Scythe, and it changes according to the talents you have or the options you want to take. Here with everything, you take Torrent, Arcane. If you are a Blood Elf, Chill, Streak, I don't know. It doesn't take Soul Reaper, you take Rage of the Frozen Champions, and it changes things a bit for you. Do you see how they keep adding and removing lines? Well, the problem here is that they have used 2 lines of Scarpio Strike that don't fit, because depending on whether you have chosen one talent or another, only one of those 2 lines should appear. But since this page doesn't have the format that updates with the talents, it's clear here that both come out directly. Next, a recommended build for Tank DH. It's a generic Woja build that only tells you where to get the easiest pieces. I mean, have you ever seen a Tank DH using the Anvil and Bombs in Mythic Plus? Not even a DPS uses it because it's extremely hard to play. You can play it with Outlaw, with Paladin, but it is extremely complicated to play with the Anvil. I mean, with the Anvil Mythic Plus. So this build that you're recommending is a bit weird, to be honest. And the Sarkea Cloak also with an extremely weird tank, honestly. But not only that, the augmentation guide copied word for word a bunch of other examples, and as it says here, they explain it too, and it's like, look, a couple of similarities. It's really not bad because all classes play the same way. I mean, you can't expect Wojia to tell you to use Between the Eyes first with the Outlaw Rogue and then Vanish, and for Ice and Benz to tell you to use Vanish first and then Between the Eyes. No, because it is played in a certain way and you do A, B, C, D and follow the same steps in the rotation. Now that you explain the reason in the same way and with the same wording, it implies that you haven't made the effort to understand why it's done that way and are simply following someone else who knows more than you. It's like, so what does this page contribute if all it's doing is presenting it in a different way from the work that other people are doing in Woke Up and so on, or even making silly mistakes like that, like copying the format wrong, copying bad abilities. For example, here with the opener of the deck, they tell me wrong because with Bone Storms, it already generates enough Bone Shield charges to want to use another Marrow Rend. It's kind of weird. It's clear that this came from some strange place, that they didn't do it quite right, and this will likely cost them because it won't give good publicity to this page anymore. The first impression is that this page seems like a hodgepodge of artificial intelligence, a mix of poorly copied things from Wojia and poorly copied things from Icy Veins. So it has a lot of work to do. It's a lot of work to dedicate oneself to correcting all this, because from what he's seeing in the posts, it's basically him who writes the WoW posts, so he has quite a lot of work pending. In fact, look, he's writing a ton of posts, a ton of history, although it seems he's not the only one. He has people here also writing for him, helping him write things, which is a relief because he really needs it. Or maybe they should even talk about this themselves, right? Honestly, it's just a funny topic. To be honest, all these pages are complicated for me. Ever since they took away the sub-creation page, I haven't been happy. But what I always say is, if you want to learn to play a class, the best thing I can recommend is the class Discord. If the class Discord recommends you go to Wowhead or Icy Veins, go because they know their stuff. And if not, find a geek who plays your class. But don't come to me for warrior advice. Go to Byzantine for, I don't know, Hunter Best, I was going to say. Well, if Azoterion is good, I don't know, go to whoever you want. You'll really learn a lot more. Go to specific places with knowledgeable people who can explain things well, because that's where you'll get the most useful information. So yeah, be very careful. And don't copy other people's homework, okay? Because I suppose you have already realized that it is useless, although surely our children will do the same, which is just the way life is. Take care, guys. See you. Goodbye. Bye, bye, bye. Kisses. Goodbye. Take care. Goodbye. Bye, bye, bye. Kisses. Bye.